In just over a week, the former Trump administration ambassador to the United Nations is expected to announce that she'll battle her former boss for the Republican nomination. She'll be the first, but definitely not the last to mount a challenge.
And Trump, of course, is not a fan of anyone who dares to run against him in the Republican primary. Get a load of what he had to say about Nikki Haley in a recent interview. You can, of course, expect him to be the misogynist that he is. Let's watch.
To Trump, let's just say he isn't too happy about it.
You know, she said numerous times, I put it up actually, that I would never run if our president runs. He was a great president, et cetera, et cetera. She said that numerous times, but she's a very ambitious person. She just couldn't stay in the seat. I said, you know what, Nick, if you want to run, you go ahead and run. Nikki suffers from something that's a very tough thing to suffer from. She's overly ambitious.
Those women. They should just stay in their seats. They're so overly ambitious. Now, of course, Donald Trump doesn't like that anyone would challenge him in the Republican primaries, which is why he lashes out at everyone, including Nikki Haley, including Ron DeSantis, who, hasn't announced that he's gonna run. There are rumors that he's thinking about running. But Trump is also probably concerned about the fact that the billionaire donors who had supported him previously are no longer interested in supporting him and are planning on putting their funding behind a Republican challenger. And we know that for sure thanks to a memo that was leaked by the Koch donor network. And what did that memo say? Well, Emily Seidel, who serves as the chief executive for Americans for Prosperity, authored the memo, and here's what it said. The Republican Party is nominating bad candidates who are advocating for things that go against core American principles. And the American people are rejecting them. The Democrats are responding with policies that also go against our core American principles. One of the lessons learned from primary campaigns in the 2022 midterm election cycle, the memo says in boldface, is that the loudest voice in each political party sets the tone for the entire election, which of course implies that they're referring to Trump here. In a presidential year, that's the presidential candidate. And to write a new chapter for our country, we need to turn the page on the past. So the best thing for the country would be to have a president in 2025 who represents a new chapter. The American people have shown that they're ready to move on. And so Americans for Prosperity will help them do that. Now, I just want to note that the Koch donor network lost interest in Trump earlier because of the fact that he engaged in a trade war. Right-wingers love free trade because they want to allow businesses to exploit cheap labor in other countries without any type of consequence. So there has been a beef going on with these donors and Donald Trump for some time now. But it does show you that the money is definitely leaving Trump and it's headed toward the direction of whichever Republican candidate they prefer.
So I don't know if it's gonna work, but at least it is a significant sign of the massive civil war about to unfold in the Republican Party, we think. But remember, they need a candidate and they need a credible candidate. But I wanna give you guys a sense of scale here. I wanna go to graphics 4 and 5. Before we do that though, I like that last sentence they had. They say, the American people have shown that they're ready to move on, so they're going to help them do that. Okay, in other words, no, it's not us.
We're doing it for the American people.
No, yeah, that's why we're gonna give these hundreds of millions of dollars to help the American people come to the conclusion that we should get everything, okay? Now, there are no good guys in this story.
Correct.
The Koch brothers are a disaster and Trump's a disaster. We'll sort it out at the end, but let me give you the numbers first. Americans for Prosperity Super PAC spent nearly $80 million during the 2022 midterm elections, but that is likely just a fraction of the network's overall spending, much of which was undertaken by nonprofit groups that will not be required to reveal their finances until this fall. And remember, a lot of that is dark money, so they don't have to reveal where they got it from. Now, obviously, some of it is from Charles Koch, obviously, right? But they actually have a giant collection of the richest people in the country. And well, the second number will indicate the size of it for you guys. If 80 million during the midterms that we can see with our own eyes, let alone the rest of the iceberg, isn't enough. And then I'll get to who's in the group. The network spent nearly $500 million supporting Republican candidates and conservative policies in the 2020 election cycle alone. So guys, that's just the money we know about. And that's $500 million. And the way they get that is they go to, again, some of the richest people that are all right-wingers. They get them together in Palm Springs, which they just did, and that's why you're hearing about this story, and in some other fancy places. And they get together and they decide in a, in a council of some sort, okay, I'm gonna get to that too in a second. And they go, okay, who shall be the next president? And then they decide. And
it's pretty gross.
And then they put in 500 million or whatever they need, and they overwhelm everyone else. Now with Trump, it's a little different. Now I say council because I'm taking a jab at the idiots who believe in things like the Council of Zion, and they think, oh, it's the Jews. The Koch brothers are not at all Jewish. Neither is the great majority of the incredibly wealthy donors here. Guys, it isn't about religion or race. It's about money.
Yes, the kingmakers are the ones with the billions.
Right.
And look, I'm just gonna make one quick point about this because I can't help myself. It is amazing to me. This is a report from the New York Times. It is amazing to me that reporters like Maggie Haberman can note the impact that hundreds of millions of dollars make on elections in this context, while simultaneously pretending to not understand the corrupting factor of money in politics in our political system in general, right? In this context, she gets it. In any other context, it seems like they're totally blind to it.
But there is one thing that unites them. Even this story seemed to almost, like they don't say, with the New York Times, they don't ever say like, yay, it's a good thing somebody's fighting Trump, right? They're not gonna be unsophisticated like that. But you can see the message in between the lines. They seem to be kind of celebrating that the Koch brothers are gonna spend this money against Trump. It's like a big news event, just giant money going against Trump, right? But that does tie them to the rest of their coverage, which is celebrating anyone who has more money. They always call the person with more money the leader in the race. Well, what does that do? That says the person who took the most bribes, the one that is likely the most corrupt, is declared to be the leading candidate that you should all consider first. And the New York Times and every other outlet, right wing and mainstream media, do the same exact thing. So that is an implicit endorsement of the one taking the most bribes. Now, so which leads us to this great irony here. You've got the guys who actually are like, people are always trying to find the cabal, who's secretly running things. Dude, it's not a secret. They meet twice a year at a really fancy hotel. They go into a conference room and decide who our leaders are gonna be. And by the way, they brag about being in 200 different races. This isn't just about president. They're picking your senators, your congresspeople, your state legislators. Republicans in Kansas started warning other Republican state legislators saying, when the Koch brothers come for you, they wipe out everyone who doesn't agree with them, okay? So they're gonna wipe out Republicans that are not corrupt as well. So the bottom line is, whoever the Republican nominee is gonna be is definitely going to be corrupt. That's what they've always been. The question is, are they going to be personally corrupt like Donald Trump or systemically corrupt like the people, whoever the Koch Industries Network picks, right? And one is going to be corrupt on behalf of the donors, and the other one is going to be corrupt on behalf of himself. And that doesn't have to be the case, but with Trump, he's shown 1,000 times over that's exactly what he does, right? So I hate Trump mainly because he tried to overthrow democracy. That's kind of a big deal, okay? Let alone all the other horrible things that he's done. So I would love for him to get eliminated, okay? And then I'll deal with the next monster. And I don't believe that stupid saying about, oh, you gotta stick with the devil you know. No, I know that guy's the devil. I gotta try someone else. And there's not gonna be any good Republicans. But as long as they don't try to end democracy, well, we'll fight them. We'll fight him in a general election, we'll fight him next time, etc. So it is strange bedfellows in this case. But what I'm worried about is the mainstream media, like they did with Liz Cheney and then eventually Dick Cheney and George W. Bush, now saying like, oh, the Kochs and the richest people in the world that buy off all our politicians are fighting Trump. That means they're good guys. And they'll get a show on MSNBC next. No, they're not good guys. This is organized bribery, and every reporter should be telling you that, and almost none of them do. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships.
You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.